Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Transformers Devastation, an action game from Platinum Games, Hasbro, and Activision. So I love Transformers. I hate the movies, but I love Transformers. And Transformers Devastation goes back to those, quirky 80 years where the cartoon was on and it was awesome and life was good and you had toys for Transformers. It was really popular and awesome. Unlike the movies, they can go burn in hell. Anyway, Transformers Devastation is probably the best Transformers game to ever come out. Now, however, that's not saying a lot because Transformer games in general have been borderline terrible to mediocre. So with that, we'll get into the review.
By the Matrix.
On the plus side, I think we finally get to bust some December chops.
The humans are evacuated and our mission is clear. Save the city and stop Megatron.
The story of Transformers Devastation takes place on Earth, and Megatron has found a way to Cybertronize Earth. So Optimus and his group of Autobots, which include, Sidewinder, Grimlock, Bumblebee, obviously Optimus, and Wheeljack, have to stop Megatron and his Decepticons from achieving their goal of killing Earth's population to make it a new Cybertron. On the whole, the story is, actually pretty decent. It feels very much like you're, watching another episode from the 80s cartoon, and it's a real blast. The aesthetics really help it. Once again, the characters are, classic Transformers, and you get to hear Starscream be an idiot and annoying, and Megatron, swear, you failed me for the last time, go down a, fiery pit, you useless piece of crap. And Optimus, obviously, he's Optimus, and he's always fun to listen to. And the cast of Transformers is really good. A lot of the fun ones from the 80s cartoons obviously make their appearances. I had named all the Autobots that appear, but, just other than Starscream, you got the Constructobots. I can't remember how you say these their, transforming names. The Insectobots. And a lot of them make appearances, including some of the, giant ones like Devastator. And it's a lot of fun playing through the story with these characters, especially where you can switch, but I'll get into that with the gameplay. But the story, like I said, on the whole, the story is actually really good, and it really, captures that 80s cartoon feeling that the movies have, pretty much never got into.
Megatron, what is the meaning of this?
Optimus, come to save the day, I presume?
I am here to stop you from destroying the city.
Stop me? Oh, Prime! You have no idea what you're really up against, do you?
Gameplay for Transformers Devastation feels just like any normal Platinum games. You have basic attack, heavy attack, dodge, jump, kind of a super combo, a high-speed attack, and gun. Yep, that's pretty much it for the basic attack. You can chain these together to do different combos, and depending on what weapon you have, changes up the combos. There are about 5 different types of melee weapons and about 4 or 5 types of guns that you can equip, ranging from dual swords to a giant hammer, axe, all the classic Transformer weapons. You can obviously transform into a car, which is great for getting around the map. But you can also use it to speed up, so you can do like guard break attacks and other high-speed attacks. The fighting in the game is actually really solid. It feels very much like Bayonetta, but not quite as complex. It's a lot of fun and probably one of the best elements of this game. Driving is actually manageable and not too bad, especially where you're not driving a lot. It's mostly just to get around the map. And I'm going to say this right now in this portion since I keep mentioning the map. It is very generic, and it's probably actually one of the worst parts of this game. It's really only 2 maps, and they're very blah to look at, and I don't know, they didn't even really try to make an environment to some extent, and it all looks the same. So that's probably my biggest complaint, or at least one of them, is just the environment sucks in terms of design. It's not that good, and not varied at all. Let's see what else. There's an RPG element to this. I mentioned that you can get multiple weapons. There are different grades, different strengths, and all that stuff. And once again, not the greatest system on the planet. It's kind of like Borderlands' loot system, but not as good. In fact, it's way, way worse. And I felt that if they would have just given each of the Autobots, because you can play as all the ones I mentioned, they have a different set, move list, different weapon, and just keep them that way. That way, you Optimus and Wheeljack don't play exactly the same if they have a sword. Instead, give Optimus his axe, give Sidewinder some swords, and do that way instead of just making it so you just pick whatever and put it on one Autobot. And just like I said, the item distribution is really bad. Also, there's you can level up certain statistics. Once again, not needed. I think it would have been better off if they just got rid of all that and focused on combos, which is another weak spot. It's really the same combos over and over. It's either square, 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 triangle, 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 square, square, triangle, 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 and stuff like that. There's no real, delay attacks and more complex stuff like you get in like Bayonetta or even Metal Gear Rising. And it's instead of focusing on the RPG elements, I think they should have focused on just adding more attacks and different things. Because once again, there's certain moves you have to buy from the shop. Which there's a currency and use that to buy moves and weaponry, which weapons you ignore and you just buy the move sets. But I think if they would have focused more on the just adding more combos instead of this RPG element to the game, it would have shown a lot better. Instead, while the gameplay is great, the RPG side of it just I think needed to go away. Especially where you have stats that affect defense, health, and all that. It just didn't feel like it fit with the genre that the fast-paced action that I've come to love with, like Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising, and those games. But at least the base combat is a lot of fun, and the gun. I mentioned you get a gun. The guns are varied, and that element actually also works really well.
Long waited for the day I could fight you all myself. Prove my worth to Megatron.
Transformers Devastation is a huge step in the right direction for Hasbro to keep making Transformers games. Not only does it capture the awesome 80s vibe of the old cartoon, the gameplay, at least the base gameplay and combat, is awesome. However, this game is bogged down by crappy level design and environmental design. The RPG elements are not needed at all and can just go away. And that's pretty much it. Transformers Devastation gets a rent verdict. I think it's a solid game, but like I said, it's really short. I forgot to mention that. And like I said, if they got rid of that RPG element and made a little bit more varied areas that you go to, I probably would have given this game a buy, but it just feels like they didn't take any time to do anything with the environment level design, and like I said, the RPG things just kind of seemed like it was just thrown in to add an RPG element and needs to just go away. So if they ever do another game in the series, which is heavily hinted at by the ending of this game, focus on the action, focus on combos, and make everything feel different and varied instead of it just being kind of very generic no matter what you're doing. So that's it for this review. Next week, I believe, is Dragon Quest Heroes for the PlayStation 4, which Lizzie Mannon will be doing. I will not be doing the review next week. I get next week off. Yay. So that's it for this review. Make sure to leave comments below for chances to win a game of your choice. You can also go to ruleof3.com to read our articles and other videos and Let's Plays that we've done. If you leave comments on them, you also get an entry for the giveaway that we're doing this month. And it's only good on October posts. As long as it's posted in the month of October, it's good for an entry. Like us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out our Patreon page if you can. That's a way to get some more entries into the giveaways that we do. It also helps us to be able to upgrade, market better, obviously do a lot more giveaways and stuff, and make the site generally better. And that's it. So until next time, always remember to trust in the rule of 3.